Abigail Foster, a billionaire philanthropist, wakes from a 3-month coma to discover her husband, Victor, has sold their palatial mansion and fled with his mistress, leaving her penniless and homeless. Driven by betrayal and a burning desire for justice, Abigail embarks on a relentless quest to find Victor and exact her revenge. Before we continue, please do well to hit that subscription button, because it means the world to us. Like and share with friends. Now, relax and enjoy the story. The sterile scent of antiseptic stung Abigail Foster's nose as her eyelids fluttered open. The hospital room in Crystal Bay was a stark contrast to the opulence she was accustomed to. A white ceiling with flickering fluorescent lights, a faint hum of machines, and the distant clatter of a nurse's cart. Her body felt heavy, like it was tethered to the bed, but her mind snapped to alertness, sharp and restless. At 42, Abigail had built a billion-dollar empire through her charitable foundation, her name synonymous with generosity and power in Solara. Now, confusion clouded her thoughts. Where was she? Why did her limbs feel like lead? A young doctor, his badge reading Dr. Simon Wells, entered with a clipboard. His face was kind but guarded, his movements deliberate as he checked her chart. "Mrs. Foster, welcome back," he said, his voice steady but tinged with caution. "You've been in a coma for 3 months. A car accident. Do you remember anything?" Abigail's throat was dry, her voice a hoarse whisper. "An accident? No. I was driving to a gala. Then nothing." Her heart raced as fragments of memory refused to surface. She tried to sit up, wincing as pain shot through her ribs. "Where's Victor?" "My husband. He should be here." Dr. Wells hesitated, glancing at the nurse beside him, a woman with a tight bun and a sympathetic frown. "We tried contacting Mr. Foster, but he hasn't been reachable. Your emergency contact, a Mr. Thomas Reed, has been checking in." Abigail frowned, her mind grappling with the words. Victor, 45, her partner of 15 years, was meticulous, always by her side during crises. His absence felt like a betrayal before she even knew the full story. "I need to go home," she said, her tone firm despite her weakness. "Get me discharged. Now." Dr. Wells exchanged a look with the nurse, then nodded. "We'll arrange it, but you need to take it slow. Your body's been through a lot." Hours later, Abigail sat in the back of a hospital-provided car, her frail frame wrapped in a borrowed coat. The drive to her mansion in Crystal Bay's elite hillside district was silent, the city's gleaming skyscrapers blurring past. Her estate, a sprawling masterpiece of glass and marble, was her sanctuary, a testament to her success. As the car pulled up to the wrought iron gates, her heart sank. A sleek black sedan was parked in the driveway, and the gates were locked with a new chain. The driver, a quiet man in his 50s, glanced back. "This the place, ma'am?" "Yes," Abigail said, stepping out, her legs shaky but her resolve ironclad. She pressed the intercom, expecting the familiar voice of her housekeeper. Instead, a sharp, unfamiliar tone answered. "Who is this?" the voice demanded. "Abigail Foster. This is my home. Open the gate." A pause, then a scoff. "You must be mistaken. I own this property now. Leave, or I'll call security." Abigail's blood ran cold. She banged on the gate, her voice rising. "This is my house. I demand to know what's going on." The gate buzzed, and a woman emerged from the mansion's grand entrance. Margaret Lane, 38, strode forward with the confidence of someone who belonged. Her tailored suit and smug smile radiated authority. She stopped a few feet from the gate, arms crossed. "Abigail Foster, right? The billionaire philanthropist. I read about you. Sorry, but this isn't your house anymore." "What are you talking about?" Abigail snapped, gripping the gate's bars. "I built this place. My name is on the deed." Margaret's lips curled into a mocking grin. "Was on the deed. Your husband sold it to me 3 weeks ago. Legal and binding. I've got the papers to prove it." "Victor." Abigail's voice cracked, disbelief washing over her. "He wouldn't." "You're lying." Margaret shrugged, unfazed. "Believe what you want. He signed the papers, took the money, and left. Said he was starting fresh. I don't care about your drama. This is my home now. So, unless you want the police involved, I suggest you leave." Abigail's knees buckled, but she caught herself, her nails digging into her palms. "You don't understand. Everything I have is in there. My life. Not my problem," Margaret cut in, turning away. Take it up with your husband. If you can find him. The gate remained locked, and Margaret disappeared into the mansion. Abigail stood frozen, the driver hovering awkwardly behind her. Her mind reeled. Victor, the man who vowed to love her forever, had sold their home? The betrayal was a knife to her chest, twisting deeper with each thought. She reached into the hospital bag slung over her shoulder, her fingers brushing against a folded piece of paper she hadn't noticed before. Unfolding it, she read a single line in Victor's scrawled handwriting. Ironwood holds the truth. Good luck, Abby. Her breath hitched. The note was a taunt, a clue, a lifeline. She clutched it tightly, her shock hardening into resolve. Victor, she whispered, you'll pay for this. Turning to the driver, she said, take me to the nearest motel. I have work to do. The motel on the outskirts of Crystal Bay was a far cry from Abigail's former life. Its peeling wallpaper, flickering neon sign, and musty carpet screamed neglect, but it was a place to think, to plan. At the cracked formica desk in her room, Abigail sat with a cup of stale coffee, her hospital discharge papers scattered beside a cheap laptop she'd bought with the last of her cash. Her empire, her foundation, her investments, her legacy, had been her pride. Now, she was staring at a bank account with zero balance, her access to funds cut off like a severed lifeline. She opened the laptop, her fingers trembling as she logged into her foundation's website. The homepage was defaced, her name replaced with a generic placeholder, and the donation portal was disabled. No, she muttered, clicking frantically. This can't be happening. Every account she checked, personal, business, even her emergency fund, was empty. Victor hadn't just sold the house. He'd dismantled her entire world. A knock at the door startled her. She hesitated, then opened it to find Thomas Reed, 50, her foundation's former operations manager. His weathered face softened with relief. Abigail, thank God you're awake. I've been trying to reach you for weeks. Thomas, she said, stepping aside to let him in. What happened? The house, the money, Victor. Thomas sat on the edge of the sagging bed, his hands clasped tightly. I'm so sorry, Abigail. It's worse than you think. Victor's been planning this for months. He started moving assets while you were in the coma. Said it was to protect the foundation. I didn't buy it, but he locked me out before I could dig deeper. Abigail's chest tightened. Locked you out? You were my right hand. How could he? He had power of attorney. Thomas said, his voice heavy with guilt. You were out cold, and he used it to take control. Sold the mansion, liquidated stocks, drained the accounts. Then he vanished with Clara. Clara. Abigail's voice was sharp, her memory snagging on the name. My assistant Clara? The one I fired for stealing. Thomas nodded grimly. Yeah, that Clara. She's 30, ambitious, and trouble. I heard they're in Ironwood now, living it up. Victor's been flashing cash, acting like he's untouchable. Abigail paced the small room, her bare feet cold against the grimy floor. Ironwood, she repeated, the note's words echoing in her mind. Why there? What's he hiding? I don't know, Thomas admitted. But I found something before he cut me off. There's a safe in your old office at the foundation, hidden behind the bookshelf. I never got the code, but Victor was obsessed with it. Kept muttering about securing the future. If you can get in, it might tell you what he's up to. Abigail stopped pacing, her mind racing. The foundation's office was across town, still technically hers, though Victor's actions cast doubt on that. I need to see it, she said. Will you help me? Thomas stood, his loyalty unwavering. Always. Let's go tonight. The building's empty after hours. Under the cover of dusk, they drove to the foundation's headquarters, a sleek glass building now eerily quiet. Abigail's heart pounded as they slipped inside, using Thomas's old keycard. The office, once her domain, felt foreign, her awards gone, her desk cleared. Behind the bookshelf, as Thomas promised, was a small safe embedded in the wall. She tried every combination she could think of, birthdays, anniversaries, their wedding date, but nothing worked. Damn it, she hissed, slamming her fist against the wall. Then she noticed a faint scratch on the safe's dial, a pattern that sparked a memory. Victor's old habit of tapping codes in rhythm. She tried a sequence tied to his favorite song, a jazz tune they'd danced to years ago. The safe clicked open. Inside was a single flash drive, its surface scuffed but intact. Abigail's pulse quickened as she pocketed it. This has to be it, she said. turning to Thomas. Something he didn't want me to find. Back at the motel, Thomas hooked the drive to the laptop, but a password prompt blocked access. It's encrypted, he said, frowning. Heavy stuff. Victor's into something big, maybe illegal. Abigail stared at the screen, the weight of Victor's betrayal settling like a stone in her gut. Ironwood, the note, the flash drive. It all pointed to a truth she needed to uncover. He thinks he's won, she said, her voice low and fierce. But I'm not done. I'll find him, Thomas. And when I do, he'll wish he'd never crossed me. Thomas met her gaze, his expression a mix of admiration and worry. You're not the same Abigail I knew. You're tougher now. Just be careful. Ironwood's a different world. Victor's not the man you married anymore. Neither am I, Abigail said, her fingers tightening around the flash drive. Let's get to work. Ironwood's streets pulsed with life, a chaotic symphony of neon signs, blaring music, and the chatter of hustlers weaving through crowded sidewalks. The city was a stark contrast to Crystal Bay's polished elegance, its gritty charm hiding danger in every shadow. Abigail Foster navigated the throng, her borrowed jacket pulled tight against the evening chill. The flash drive, tucked in her pocket, felt like a ticking bomb, its encrypted secrets her only lead to Victor's betrayal. Her destination was the Black Serpent, a nightclub known as much for its pulsing beats as for its owner, Marcus Black, a man who could find anyone for the right price. The club's entrance was a glowing arch of purple lights, bouncers eyeing her skeptically as she approached. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of sweat and cheap perfume, strobe lights casting wild patterns across the dance floor. Abigail pushed through the crowd, her heart pounding but her steps steady. She'd never been to a place like this, her life once confined to boardrooms and galas. Now, necessity had stripped away her polished exterior, revealing a woman ready to fight. At the bar, she caught the eye of a bartender, a wiry man with a shaved head. I need to see Marcus Black, she said, her voice firm despite the knot in her stomach. The bartender smirked, wiping a glass. Everybody wants Marcus. What makes you special? I've got a problem he can solve, Abigail replied, sliding a crumpled wad of cash, her last, across the counter. Tell him it's about Victor Foster. The bartender's smirk faded. He pocketed the cash and jerked his head toward a staircase. Up there. Don't waste his time. The staircase led to a private lounge overlooking the dance floor, its glass walls vibrating with the music below. Marcus Black leaned against a plush couch, a glass of whiskey in hand. His sharp suit and calm demeanor suggested a man in control, but his watchful gaze missed nothing. He gestured for her to sit, his voice smooth as silk. You're Abigail Foster, the billionaire who lost everything. Word travels fast in Ironwood. Abigail sat, her posture rigid. I'm here because you can find people. I need Victor, my husband. He stole my life and ran off with his mistress, Clara. Marcus raised an eyebrow, intrigued. That's a hell of a story. Victor's been making waves here, throwing money around like he's untouchable. But tracking him won't be cheap. Why should I help you? Because I'll pay whatever it takes, Abigail said, her voice steady. Not with money. I don't have much left. But I've got skills, connections, and a reason to fight. You help me, I'll owe you. Marcus studied her, a slow smile spreading. I like your fire, Abigail. Most people in your shoes would be broken. All right, I'm in, but you'll need more than grit. Victor's mixed up with dangerous folks. You'll have to toughen up. He led her to a back room, where a young woman sat hunched over a laptop, her fingers flying across the keys. Lily Stone, the hacker Marcus trusted, had a sharp wit and a restless energy. Her desk was cluttered with energy drink cans and tech gadgets, a stark contrast to the club's glitz. Marcus introduced them. Lily, meet Abigail. She's got a flash drive that needs cracking. Think you can handle it? Lily glanced at Abigail, her expression skeptical but curious. Depends. What's on it? Answers, Abigail said, handing over the drive. My husband's secrets. He sold my home, drained my accounts, and left me with nothing. This is my only lead. Lily plugged the drive in, her screen filling with code. This is heavy encryption. Whoever set this up didn't want it seen. Give me a few hours. While Lily worked, Marcus took Abigail to a basement gym beneath the club, a gritty space with punching bags and worn mats. You're stepping into a world that doesn't play nice, he said, tossing her a pair of gloves. Let's see if you can handle it. Abigail hesitated, her hands unused to anything but signing contracts. But as Marcus showed her how to throw a punch, her anger fueled her movements. Each hit against the bag was a release. Victor's betrayal, her stolen life, the smug face of Margaret Lang. Sweat dripped down her face, her polished demeanor giving way to raw determination. Hours later, Lily burst in, her laptop under her arm. "Got it," she said, her voice buzzing with excitement. "Your husband's been funneling money to a syndicate in the Badlands. Smuggling, maybe worse. He's meeting a guy named Kessler out there soon. This drive's got names, dates, accounts, enough to bury him." Before Abigail could respond, the door crashed open. A hulking thug, his face scarred, lunged at her, a knife glinting in his hand. "You're asking too many questions, lady," he growled. Abigail's training kicked in. She dodged, her body moving on instinct, and grabbed a metal pipe from the floor. Marcus tackled the thug, but Abigail landed the final blow, knocking him out cold. Panting, she stared at the unconscious man, her hands trembling but her resolve unshaken. "They know I'm coming," she said, her voice hard. "Good. Let them be scared." Marcus grinned, wiping blood from his lip. "You're not the pampered billionaire anymore, are you? Let's find Victor before they find you." The Sapphire Grand Hotel in Crystal Bay was a beacon of luxury, its marble lobby gleaming under crystal chandeliers. Abigail checked into room 11, her modest suitcase a stark contrast to the hotel's opulence. She'd followed a tip from Lily, who'd traced Victor's recent purchases to this hotel. Exhausted but driven, Abigail needed a base to plan her next move. The room was lavish, silk curtains, a plush bed, a balcony overlooking the city, but it felt like a cage. Her life, once defined by wealth and status, was now a hunt for justice. She sat on the bed, the flash drive's contents replaying in her mind. Victor's ties to the Badlands Syndicate, his betrayal laid bare in spreadsheets and coded messages. She was close, closer than she'd ever been. But doubt gnawed at her. Could she really confront him? Her thoughts were interrupted by muffled voices through the wall, sharp and heated. One voice, smooth and commanding, stopped her cold. "Victor." Her heart raced, disbelief warring with fury. She pressed her ear to the wall, catching fragments of the argument. "We need to move the money now, Clara," Victor said, his tone clipped. "Kessler's impatient. If we don't deliver, we're done." Clara's voice, sharp and defiant, shot back. "You promised me a new life, Victor. Not this mess. You said Abigail was gone for good. She was supposed to be," Victor snapped. "The accident should have, never mind. We sell the last assets tomorrow and leave Solara. Kessler's meeting us in the Badlands. We'll be untouchable." Abigail's blood boiled, her nails digging into her palms. The accident wasn't an accident. Victor had tried to kill her. The realization hardened her resolve, her grief transforming into a burning need for revenge. She couldn't confront him yet. Not here, not unprepared. She needed to be smart. She rummaged through her suitcase, pulling out a wig and oversized sunglasses she'd bought in Ironwood. Disguised as a hotel guest, she slipped into the hallway, her heart pounding as she lingered near room 12. The door was ajar, a maid's cart nearby. Peeking inside, she saw Victor pacing, his phone pressed to his ear, while Clara lounged on a couch, sipping wine. "Yes, Kessler," Victor said. "The deal's set. Badlands, 3 days. The money's clean." Abigail ducked back, her mind racing. The Badlands. Kessler. 3 days. She returned to her room, her hands shaking as she scribbled the details. Victor was so close, yet so unaware. She could end it now, burst in, confront him, but that was too easy. He deserved to face her when she was ready, when she could make him pay. She called Marcus, her voice low. "He's here, Marcus. Room 12. Right next to me." Marcus whistled through the phone. "That's bold. Or stupid. What's the plan?" "I'm watching him," Abigail said. "He's meeting someone named Kessler in the Badlands. I need you and Lily to dig deeper. Find out who Kessler is, what Victor's planning." "Done," Marcus said. "But watch your back. If he's this close, he's dangerous." Abigail hung up, staring at the wall separating her from Victor. Revenge was within reach, but she needed to be patient, precise. She slipped back into the hallway, blending into the hotel's bustle, her disguise shielding her as she trailed Victor to the lobby. He was oblivious, laughing with Clara as they headed to the bar. Abigail's heart burned, but she smiled grimly. "Enjoy your drinks, Victor," she whispered. "I'm coming for you." The Badlands loomed ahead, a barren expanse of jagged rocks and swirling dust under a merciless sun. Abigail Foster sat in the passenger seat of a battered Jeep, her knuckles white as she gripped the door handle. Marcus Black drove, his jaw set, while Lily Stone hunched in the back, her laptop balanced on her knees, tracking syndicate signals. The trio had left Ironwood at dawn, their mission clear: intercept Victor and Clara in the Badlands before they could finalize their deal with the syndicate boss, Kessler. The terrain was unforgiving, riddled with hidden ravines and patrolled by ruthless enforcers, but Abigail's resolve burned brighter than her fear. The Jeep rattled over a rocky path, its engine groaning. Marcus glanced at Abigail, his voice cutting through the wind. "You sure about this? The Badlands don't care who you were. One wrong move, and we're done." "I'm sure," Abigail replied, her tone steady. "Victor's out there, thinking he's won. I won't let him get away." Lily snorted from the back. "Gutsy, I'll give you that. My scans show Kessler's crew is all over these hills. We need to stay sharp." Abigail nodded, her mind focused on the flash drive's revelations: Victor's smuggling empire, Clara's role, the meeting with Kessler. Marcus's quiet confidence steadied her, their shared glances hinting at a growing trust. She admired his grit, but her heart was locked on revenge, not camaraderie. The Jeep crested a ridge when Lily hissed, "Trouble!" 2 trucks, closing fast. Abigail turned to see dust clouds rising behind them, black SUVs roaring closer. Syndicate enforcers. Marcus floored the gas, swerving through a narrow canyon. Bullets pinged off the Jeep's frame, and Abigail ducked, her pulse racing. "Hold on," Marcus shouted, yanking the wheel. The Jeep skidded, kicking up gravel. Lily fired a flare gun out the window, its bright arc distracting the pursuers. One SUV veered into a ditch, but the other gained ground. Abigail grabbed a wrench from the floor, her hands trembling but determined. "What do they want?" she yelled. "Us dead," Lily snapped, typing furiously. "Wait, I'm picking up a signal. It's Clara. She's on a call, ordering these guys to take us out. She's cutting Victor out, wants the syndicate's cash for herself." Abigail's blood boiled. Clara, the scheming mistress, was playing her own game. "She's as bad as he is," she muttered, her resolve hardening. Marcus swerved again, leading the remaining SUV toward a crumbling bridge. At the last second, he slammed the brakes, letting the pursuers overshoot and plunge into a ravine below. The Jeep shuddered to a stop, dust settling around them. Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, grinning faintly. "Nice teamwork. You didn't flinch, Abigail. I'm impressed." She managed a tight smile, her heart still pounding. "I'm not here to flinch. Clara's double-crossing Victor. That makes her my problem too." Lily slammed her laptop shut. "We're close to Kessler's territory. Clara's headed there now. We move fast, we might catch them both." Abigail stared at the horizon, the Badlands' harsh beauty mirroring her inner fire. "Let's keep going," she said. "They won't see me coming." The syndicate stronghold squatted in a Badlands valley, a fortified compound of concrete and steel surrounded by armed guards. Abigail crouched behind a boulder, her breath shallow, her body draped in a dusty cloak that disguised her as a smuggler. Marcus and Lily had helped her infiltrate, posing as a buyer for Victor's stolen assets. Her forged credentials, courtesy of Lily's hacking, had gotten her past the outer gates, but the real test lay inside. Victor and Clara were here, negotiating with Kessler, and Abigail was ready to tear their world apart. Inside the compound, the air was thick with tension and the stench of oil. Abigail adjusted her scarf, blending into a crowd of shady traders. Clara stood on a raised platform, her confident posture commanding attention as she pitched to Kessler, a hulking man with a scarred face. Victor was nowhere in sight, likely finalizing details elsewhere. Abigail's heart thudded. She was so close. She edged closer, catching Clara's words. "The assets are clean, Kessler. Cash, gold, offshore accounts. Victor's out of the picture. You deal with me now." Kessler grunted, skeptical. "You're bold, Clara. Where's Foster?" "I don't like surprises." Clara smirked. "He's indisposed. Trust me, I'm the better partner." Abigail's fists clenched. Clara's betrayal of Victor mirrored her own pain, but she felt no pity. She slipped behind a crate, planting a forged document, evidence of Clara's double cross, crafted by Lily, that would turn Kessler against her. As she moved, Clara's gaze swept the room, landing on Abigail's cloaked figure. "You," Clara called, her voice sharp. "Step forward. Now." Abigail froze, then straightened, her disguise holding. "Just here to buy," she said, her voice low. "Heard you had a deal." Clara's lips curled into a mocking smile. "You look familiar. Down on your luck, maybe? Like someone I used to know." Abigail's pulse spiked, but she held her ground. "You don't know me. Let's keep it that way." Before Clara could press further, Victor stormed in, his face flushed with anger. "Clara, what's this about cutting me out?" he shouted, oblivious to Abigail's presence. The room tensed, guards gripping their weapons. Kessler stood, his patience gone. "Enough. I deal with one of you, not both. Who's in charge?" Abigail seized the chaos, tossing the forged document into Kessler's path. "Read that," she called, her voice cutting through the noise. "Clara's stealing from you." Kessler snatched the paper, his scowl deepening as he scanned it. "You lying snake," he growled at Clara. "You think you can play me?" Clara's confidence faltered. "That's fake. Victor, tell him." A gunshot rang out as Kessler's guards opened fire, targeting Clara's hired muscle. Abigail dove for cover, the compound erupting into a storm of bullets and shouts. Victor bolted for a side exit, and Abigail pursued, her cloak billowing as she dodged debris. She caught a guard, pinning him against a wall. "Where's Victor going?" she demanded, her voice fierce. The guard, bloodied and terrified, choked out, "He's running. But you should know, he planned your accident. Wanted you gone for good." Abigail's world tilted, rage surging through her. Victor hadn't just betrayed her, he'd tried to erase her. She released the guard, her heart pounding with the thrill of the chase. Victor's silhouette vanished into the dust beyond the compound. But she was close, her fury a beacon guiding her forward. "You can't hide forever," she whispered, sprinting after him. The Badlands sun blazed overhead, turning the abandoned mine into a furnace of cracked earth and rusted metal. Abigail Foster crept through the shadows of the mine's entrance, her boots crunching on gravel. She'd tracked Victor here, his trail leading to this desolate maze of tunnels and collapsed shafts. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from the thrill of cornering her betrayer. The flash drive secrets and the syndicate guard's revelation, Victor's attempt to kill her, fueled her every step. She gripped a stolen pistol, its weight unfamiliar but steadying, her once manicured hands now calloused from training. A faint clatter echoed from a tunnel. Abigail froze, her senses sharp. Victor was close, his desperation palpable. She moved deeper, the air thick with dust, until she spotted him, crouched behind a pile of broken beams, his suit tattered, his face slick with sweat. "Victor," she called, her voice cold and commanding. "No more running." He jolted, scrambling to his feet, a knife glinting in his hand. "Abigail? How did you find me?" His voice cracked, a mix of panic and disbelief. "You left a trail," she said, stepping closer, her gun trained on him. "Your lies, your deals, your mistress. I'm not the woman you left for dead." Victor's shoulders sagged, but his grip on the knife tightened. "You don't understand. Your ambition, your empire, it pushed me out. I was nothing next to you. I had to take control, start over with Clara." Abigail's laugh was bitter. "You tried to kill me because I was too successful? You're pathetic." She advanced, her resolve unshaken. "I trusted you, built a life with you, and you sold it all." He lunged, his knife slashing wildly. Abigail sidestepped, her training with Marcus kicking in. She grabbed his wrist, twisting until the knife clattered to the ground. Victor swung a fist, but she ducked, driving her knee into his stomach. He crumpled, gasping, blood trickling from a split lip. "Please, Abby," he wheezed. "We can fix this." "There's no fixing this," she snapped, pinning him against a beam. Her rage burned, but a new sound stopped her, a sharp click of heels. Clara emerged from a side tunnel, a pistol in her hand, her smirk venomous. "Touching reunion," Clara said, aiming at Abigail. "Step away, or I end you both." Abigail's mind raced. Clara's betrayal of Victor made her unpredictable, dangerous. "You're turning on him too?" Abigail said, stalling. You're no better than he is. Clara laughed, her gun steady. I'm better than both of you. Victor's weak, and you're a fool chasing revenge. I'm taking the money and leaving. Abigail saw her chance, a loose plank above Clara. She dove, tackling Victor into a side shaft as she kicked a support beam. The plank crashed down, pinning Clara beneath rubble. Her gun skittered away, and she screamed, trapped. Abigail ignored her cries, dragging a dazed Victor toward the mine's exit. You're coming with me, she growled, her heart racing with triumph. In a remote safe house, a crumbling shack hidden in the Badlands outskirts, Abigail secured Victor to a chair, his wrists bound with rope. A laptop, set up by Lily, streamed a live broadcast to Solara, its blinking red light a beacon of justice. Abigail stood tall, her voice steady as she faced the camera, the nation watching. Victor slumped, his face bruised, his defiance gone. The safe house's bare walls and flickering bulb underscored the gravity of the moment. Abigail was no longer a victim, but a force reclaiming her story. People of Solara, she began, her tone clear and fierce. This man, Victor Foster, stole my life, sold my home, and tried to kill me. He's tied to a syndicate, smuggling wealth while betraying everyone who trusted him. Tonight, he confesses. Victor squirmed, his voice hoarse. Abigail, don't do this. I'll give you everything back, please. Shut up, she snapped, turning to the camera. He'll tell you himself. Victor's head bowed, his words shaky. I did it. I sold her assets, worked with Kessler's syndicate. I planned her accident. I thought she'd never wake up. His voice broke, pathetic against Abigail's strength. The broadcast electrified Solara, viewers gripped by her commanding presence. Abigail's heart swelled. She was no longer the betrayed wife, but a symbol of resilience. But a crash at the door shattered the moment. Clara, dust-covered and wild, burst in, a shard of glass in her hand. You ruined everything, she screamed, lunging at Abigail. Abigail dodged, her reflexes honed. She grabbed a chair, swinging it to knock the glass from Clara's grip. You're done, Clara, she said, tackling her to the floor. The broadcast caught every second, Solara watching as Abigail pinned her. Sirens wailed outside. Authorities, alerted by the live feed, stormed the safe house. Clara thrashed, but officers cuffed her, dragging her away. Abigail faced the camera one last time, her voice unwavering. This is my story now. No one takes it from me again. She cut the feed, her heart pounding with victory, Solara's cheers echoing in her mind. The jail cell's cold bars cast stark shadows across Victor Foster's defeated figure. Abigail stood outside, her heart a storm of rage and resolve. The man who betrayed her, stole her empire, and orchestrated her near-fatal accident sat hunched, his once confident demeanor shattered. Her vow to end his life echoed in her mind, a promise forged in the pain of his deception. Yet, as she gripped the pistol hidden in her coat, doubt crept in. The woman she'd become, fierce, unyielding, warred with the one who once loved him. Killing him would be easy, but would it define her forever? A guard stepped aside, allowing her a private moment. Victor looked up, his voice trembling. Abigail, please. I'm sorry. I was desperate, weak. Don't do this. Her jaw tightened, his pleas stoking her anger. You tried to kill me, Victor. You sold my home, my dreams. Why should I spare you? He leaned forward, desperation in his voice. I know I'm a monster, but you're better than this. Don't let me ruin you too. Abigail's hand hovered over the gun, her resolve wavering. She saw herself in that moment, a woman hardened by betrayal, but not consumed by it. Slowly, she stepped back, her voice steady. You're right. I won't become you. You'll rot in prison, knowing I'm free. Victor slumped, silent, as she turned away. Outside, Marcus Black and Lily Stone waited, their presence a quiet anchor. You okay? Marcus asked, his tone gentle but probing. Abigail nodded, exhaling. I chose justice, not vengeance. It's done. Lily grinned, her laptop glowing with data. Good call. I cracked those offshore accounts Victor hid. You've got enough to rebuild your foundation. Maybe more. Abigail's heart lifted, a spark of hope igniting. Then let's start. I want to help others fight back, like I did. Marcus clapped her shoulder, his smile warm. We're with you. Partners, not just allies. Deal. Deal. Abigail said, feeling a bond forged in their shared struggle. They weren't just friends, they were family, built from adversity's fire. Crystal Bay's skyline gleamed as Abigail stepped onto the balcony of her reclaimed mansion, the city's lights a testament to her triumph. The mansion, once lost to Victor's betrayal, was hers again, its marble halls now a symbol of her resilience. She was no longer the naive billionaire who trusted blindly. She was a force, tempered by pain and purpose. Her new campaign, Rise Again, aimed to empower those betrayed by loved ones, her story inspiring a nation. Solara's people hailed her as a hero, her live broadcast exposing Victor still echoing in their hearts. Inside, Marcus poured coffee, his grin playful. You're a legend now, Abigail. Papers can't stop talking about you. Ready for the spotlight? She laughed softly, leaning against the railing. I don't need fame. I want to make a difference. People deserve to know they can fight back. Lily joined them, her tablet buzzing with messages. Your campaign's trending. Donations are pouring in. But, she hesitated, her voice low. There's talk Clara escaped custody. No proof, just whispers. Abigail's grip tightened on the railing, her mind flashing to Clara's vengeful attack in the safe house. If she's out there, I'll be ready, she said, her tone resolute. No one catches me off guard again. Marcus nodded, his expression serious. We've got your back. Whatever comes, we face it together. Abigail gazed at the horizon, the rising sun painting the sky in hues of hope. This isn't the end, she said, her voice firm. It's a new beginning. For me, for everyone who's been broken and still stands. She turned to her friends, her heart steady. Let's get to work. Solara's waiting. The city below buzzed with life, and Abigail felt its pulse sync with her own. Clara's shadow loomed, a faint threat, but Abigail was no longer prey. She was a warrior, her eyes fixed forward, ready for whatever lay ahead. Thanks for watching. If you find this story interesting, do well to hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for our subsequent stories. Don't forget to like and share this video to others. See you in our next story.